Hey everyone, I'm Dave.
I'm Anime.
So I know you guys already know this by now, it's old news, but Jesse Eisenberg has been cast as Lex Luthor in the Batman vs. Superman movie.
Weisenberg.
Well, exactly. Anime, what are we talking about?
Well, I think we're really talking out in support of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. There has been a lot of backlash against it, kind of like with Batfleck, which, to be perfectly honest, I gotta give Warner Brothers and DC credit for really taking choices that are making people go, what?
Exactly. I mean, they're making some bold choices now, which is, part of the hallmark of Marvel. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm actually really excited about the decision they made. I loved Henry Cavill as Superman. I really loved Amy Adams as Lois Lane.
Yeah.
I think Ben Affleck's going to do a great job as this version of Batman they're creating.
I agree.
And also, on top of that, you remember me saying this, I'm pretty sure 2 years ago on our radio show, right after I saw The Social Network, I said, that dude should play Lex Luthor if they ever make another Superman movie.
I wish we could find that. I wish we knew where that was. I'm gonna have to try and find that. But yeah. I mean, it's so true. You, right away, it was like, that's the right kind of personality. Now, don't get us wrong. If it could have been Michael Rosenbaum, who was Lex Luthor in Smallville, I think we would have been happy.
And I also think I think if they hired Bryan Cranston, I mean, it would have been fine because Bryan Cranston is a great actor.
And we know he can be bald.
Exactly. But that's the funny thing. When I first read the report where people were basically like, confirmed about Bryan Cranston, at first I was like, oh, that's great. That's a really good idea. But I started thinking about it and I was like, wait, are they just saying this because he's playing a very popular villain on television who happens to be bald?
Yeah.
Is this like, they were like, Kate Upton's gonna play Power Girl. Why? Because she's blonde and has big boobs. It's like, well, yeah, but, I mean, a child can make that comparison.
Yeah, it was kind of too on the nose. So when it was like, not confirmed, it was like, okay, that makes sense that, people were just spouting that off.
I know, or remember when it was like, oh, it should be Mark Strachan. It's like, once again, is it because he's a guy in his 40s who is bald and known to be bald? I mean, don't get me wrong, these guys are great actors.
He's played a bunch of bald villains at this point. Why not?
Exactly. I mean, these guys are great actors, and they would have done a great job.
Absolutely.
But I think what they're trying to do here is they're really trying to find, that really strong opposite to Superman, but also make them peers, much like they did in Smallville.
Now, let's keep something in mind. For all of you who are like, but is Jesse Eisenberg going to pull off the bald thing? Who cares?
Yeah.
Do you know, the simple fact of the matter is that Lex Luthor has not always been bald. The reason Lex Luthor is bald is apparently because of an artist's mistake. Some artist that was doing like the penciling got confused between Lex Luthor and this other bald bad guy, and from that point on, it just kind of became how Lex Luthor was drawn, but he was not originally bald. He had like this full head of red hair at different points, you know?
The Lex Luthor in Lois and Clark wasn't bald. There's been numerous versions of Lex Luthor in other universes that's not bald.
Yeah, so, or in the least, he doesn't always start off bald, sometimes he becomes bald due to experiments like throughout like a comic run or whatever.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to be bald at all.
It's funny to me because, the whole he needs to be bald thing is, to me, is extremely silly. Because that is, the least important thing about Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Okay, what's important about Lex Luthor, Anime?
He's evil.
What else?
That people think they can trust him, too.
Yeah, but also he's a super genius.
Yes.
And he's super rich.
Yeah.
And
he sometimes wears a giant power suit.
Exactly. But this is the thing. I think that, in this day and age, we have people like Mark Zuckerberg, like Elon Musk, these young guys who have a ton of money, a ton of influence. This is what we see now as this sort of, as this sort of power position person. And I think Jesse Eisenberg, obviously they picked him to play Mark Zuckerberg in Social Network, so he has that. But also, I just think that, for me, and a lot of the roles I've seen him in, and interviews I've seen him in, Jesse Eisenberg, you could tell he's very intelligent.
Yes.
But he also has that sort of Robert Downey Jr., smartest guy in the room thing.
First rule of magic, always be the smartest guy in the room.
Except he's slightly less likable than Robert Downey Jr. because he kind of seems like a bona fide prick. Remember that one interview where he was totally mean to that girl? Now, granted, she deserved it.
Yeah.
But I was like, this guy's got kind of an edge to him that I think a lot of people don't know. Especially people are like, oh, he's like low-rent Michael Cera.
Yeah, which
I never thought.
Weird. That's really weird. Now, one of the big problems that I know a lot of people do have is, who cares about the bald thing, but he looks like he's 12. I don't disagree with that, but one of the things, like I mentioned about Lex Luthor, is that people feel like they can trust him.
Yep.
Even when he's done a million awful things and has been like in jail, he gets out and then becomes president.
Exactly.
You have to feel like you can trust this douchebag.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he can't be that evil.
Yeah,
Look at
tough.
him. Isn't he
Come
cute?
on.
And I just think at the end of the day, it's like we've seen so many versions of the bald, in his 40s, muscle-bound Luthor.
Yeah, Lex Luthor does not need to be able to punch Superman.
Yeah.
That's not what he does, except maybe when he's wearing that suit.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. I think the one thing that you fans out there of Superman and geeks out there that are angry, I feel like with Jesse Eisenberg, skinny little Jesse Eisenberg, young little Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor, there might be a sliver of a chance that we will finally see the power suit in live action, which I know is what you all want, because I swear to God, every time I read comment sections about Lex Luthor, you're all like, as long as he has a power suit, I'm cool.
Yeah, you know, like, if they ever do the power suit, there's going to be audiences full of nerds just like, Luthor!
Oh, and, you know, for Bryan Cranston, once again, Bryan Cranston is an amazing actor. He was great, of course, as Walter White in Breaking Bad. And not only that, he was also awesome as the devil in that miniseries Fallen. And he would have been great, but I also think it would have been less challenging to an audience.
Yeah,
Honestly,
absolutely. It's again, too spot on, right on the nose.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yes, of course he would have made a good pick for your standard Lex Luthor.
Totally.
But they are not building a standard universe. I mean, you know, you watch Man of Steel, and it is not your standard Superman movie.
Not at all.
And it shouldn't be. And Lex Luthor should not be the Lex Luthor that we all, like, think of immediately. It should be something that is a little more challenging, but also someone that can be evil and sinister in a different way.
Totally. Well, you know what? Fortune favors the bold, and that's what DC's doing right now. They're being bold. Also, of course, Jeremy Irons is going to be Alfred, which I think is great. I mean, hey, you know, he's a great actor. He usually plays creepy guys, but I think he's got a good Alfred in him. And, you know, if nothing else...
Do you want this? Well, I mean, think about it. This is the guy that raised Batfleck.
So true.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, guys, so that's what we think. We think Jesse Eisenberg is actually pretty great for Lex Luthor. So what I want to know in comments down below is why you think he's bad. And it's not just because he's going to look bad bald. I want to know why you think Jesse Eisenberg is going to be so terrible and ruin your life. Because, you know, they're never going to make another series of Superman movies again. And there's never also going to be another Batman. They actually said there will never be a Batman again. So you better like Ben Affleck. Am I being serious right now?
I have no idea.
Probably. All right, either way, guys, you want to listen to a radio show on every week on Indie 100 and The Point.
And if you want to tell us Weisenberg, send us an email to geekworldradio@yahoo.com, and be sure to check out our website, geekworldradio.com.
I got my power suit! Take that, Superman! Bye.
Geek World Radio.